Alright, this is making a Tensegrity table in Adobe Illustrator. So, new document, just using the A4 size document and make sure we are in millimeters. Create. Alright, rectangle tool. I'm going to make a new rectangle for the base. This is 120 millimeters by 120 millimeters. Hit OK. Click the selection tool up here, or it's V on your keyboard. And as you can see, when I move this around over here on the properties, what I have here is a Cartesian plane, so with an X and Y location, and then the size is 120 by 120. I want to stick the top left-hand corner, so I click that top left-hand corner there at 0, 0 on my Cartesian plane. So there it is up in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to add some circles for the fishing line to go through. So right click on the rectangle tool there and click the ellipse tool. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. So I'm making a circle that is 1 by 1, and with the selection tool there, I want to send that to, I want to send the center of the circle, so click on the center button there, center of that circle to 10, 10, so that's 10 mil in from the corner. I want to do that in each corner, so I'm going to copy and paste that now, so Control C to copy, Control V to paste the new one, and I'm going to stick that in the next corner, which is 110 by 10, and Control V to make another one. This one will be 10 by 110, and the last one will be 110, 110. Alright, I'm going to stick a second hole for the fishing line in at 15, 15, and again I'm going to do that in every corner. So that is 105, 15. 115, 105, that should say 15. And then the last one will be 105, 105, there we go. Alright, I need now to make a rectangle. This is a cutout for the stand bit to sit in, so that is 3 by 10. And I want to send the center of this to 60, and the bottom of this, so I've got center bottom at 100. Alright, selection tool. That's about it for the base there. I just want to make the corners rounded off, so just with the selection tool, click on the rectangle and then grab one of those corners, the dot near the corner, and just round off the edges to make that a little bit nicer a shape. Alright, so that's it for the base. What we're going to do now is add the stand-up bit next to it, so I'm going to make a new rectangle. This rectangle is going to be 55 by 80, and so stick that down there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the rulers. Turn on the rulers, show ruler. That was Shift R to turn on the rulers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab up here in the top left hand corner. This is the origin of the Cartesian plane. I'm going to grab that origin and drag it down into the bottom left hand corner of this rectangle. And so now when I click on this rectangle, bottom left hand corner, this is now the origin 0, 0 of my Cartesian plane on my working space here. So I'm going to draw another rectangle. This rectangle is going to sit in the base, so it needs to have a width of 10 and a height of 3. And I'm going to send it to the location, so 0 on the Y, and that's 45, no, 35, 35x, bottom left hand corner. Alright. Up the top here, I'm going to make that a 10 by 10. Let's going to be at 0 and -70. Alright, and then I'm going to grab the pen tool. There's two pen tools here. One does curvy lines. I want the other one that does straight lines, so just the pen tool. I'm going to click in the center of that box that I just drew. I might zoom in a little bit actually so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. I'm going to click in the center of that line to the top of that line, across all the way to the side, back up to the other corner there, and then click back where I started to close the shape. Alright, selection tool. Now I'm going to delete that outside box. It was just there to guide my shape, and I should have these three shapes here. Three shapes there. What I'm going to do is join them all together into one shape. So drag a selection box around those. Once you've got them selected, the Pathfinder tool will come up on the right here, and you can click to unite. It's the first one there, joins them all together. And then I need to add some circles for the fishing line to go through. So that again is a 1 by 1, and I want the center of that circle to be at x is 5 and -77. And again, I'm going to do another one of those 5mm underneath. So Control C, Control V. Oh, there it is. And so it's at 5 and -72. I'm going to make that -73. There we go. Alright, last thing again, I want to just round off the edges of this shape a bit so it's a little bit nicer to look at. This time I don't want to round all the edges in one go, so I'm not selecting it, and I'm going to come down and click this other selection tool here, the direct selection tool, which is underneath the first one, and just come up to the top here and click on the actual anchor point there, and there we can see that little rounding dot appears, and just round off the edges as well. I'm going to do both these at the same time, so shift to select them both and drag them both in, and then do this last one as well. Alright, so that shape is done there. All the cutouts we need to do for our Tensegrity table, so that's nice. What we'll notice now is that these are all still separate shapes, and you can easily pull this apart and accidentally wreck your design. So what we're going to do is group them. So if you drag a selection box all around the base there and then right click, you can see there's an option to group. It's also Control G on your keyboard, and now they are all stuck together so they can't be pulled apart. And so we'll do the same thing for the stand as well. So group.